Counter hits and punish counters are important mechanics in Street Fighter 6. They can be a bit unintuitive, especially if you don't understand frame data. I'm going to explain what they are and how they affect combos. Then I'll cover how to capitalize on them using frame traps, whiff punishes and confirms. A counter hit occurs when you hit the opponent in the startup or active frames of a move. This can happen if both players press a button at the same time. It commonly happens when one player is plus and the other tries to steal their turn back, but the attacker keeps their pressure tight. A counter hit has 2 extra frames of advantage and does 20% extra damage. This often leads to minor optimizations, but can sometimes cover a breakpoint to lead to a much more damaging combo. Note that supers do not gain any extra damage or advantage. A punish counter occurs when you hit the opponent in the recovery of their move. This applies to any move, including special moves and throws. You also get a punish counter when you throw an opponent who is parrying. A punish counter gets 4 frames of extra advantage and 20% extra damage. It also damages the opponent's drive gauge. Like with counter hits, supers get no benefits from punish counters. There's also a few cases where punish counters act differently. Some moves gain special properties on counter hits, for example launching or crumpling. Throws gain an extra 70% damage on punish counter, as well as dealing a whole bar of drive damage. They also get a hard knockdown which prevents your opponent from doing a back roll. I'll cover back rolls in more detail when I make a video on Okazeme. Punish counters lead to the highest damage combos in the game. It's vitally important that you learn your character's punish combos. If you've ever seen a player do a combo to punish a reversal that wouldn't normally work, it's probably punish counter specific. Note that Drive Rush gives you an extra 4 frames of advantage and this stacks with the punish counter. This means if you punish a reversal with a Drive Rush, you get an extra 8 frames of advantage. If you don't understand all this talk of frames, I have a video explaining the basics of frame data which I'll link in the comments. Punish counters are 100% guaranteed when you block an unsafe move like a reversal. This means that even moves which are only slightly unsafe can be punished with big damage. If you're familiar with other fighting games, you might think of moves which are only just punishable as being relatively safe. In Street Fighter 6, certain characters can get big combos even from just a 4-frame punish. So how can you use these mechanics to your advantage? We've already talked about how punish counters are guaranteed against unsafe moves. It's important to learn your character's combos from all their common punish starters. Whiff punishes are also punish counters. I have a video on learning to whiff punish which I'll link in the comments. You should also learn which of your block strings will lead to a combo on counter hit and learn how to convert that into a full combo. You can use frame traps to create pressure sequences where if your opponent tries to interrupt, you'll get a counter hit. For example, DJ's Sunrise heal is +1 on block. If you use his standing light punch afterwards, there's only a 3-frame gap. An opponent that tries to press a button will get counter hit. This will leave you +6 instead of +4, allowing for a crouching medium punch to combo. To test your frame traps, set the dummy to block all and set the dummy to do a 4-frame move on block reversal. I'll cover frame traps in more detail in another video. You can also confirm counters directly, although this can be difficult. You need to watch for the counter or punish counter message on the side of the screen and react to that. Some moves will give you more time to react than others. For example, Luke can do back heavy kick after crouch medium punch drive rush on counter hit or punish counter, but not on regular hit. The screen freeze from the drive rush gives you a ton of time to confirm. To practice, set the training mode counter setting to random, and practice doing the right conversion depending on if you get a normal hit, a counter hit, or a punish counter. You can also confirm counter hits by watching your opponent. You may see them go into the startup of a move after you've already pressed yours. This will give you more time to react. You can't really train this in training mode, but if you watch for it in real matches, you'll see that it happens quite often. The counter system in Street Fighter 6 may seem simple on the surface, but it's deeper than you'd think. It's a rewarding system to master. Punish counter combos do a ton of damage, often over 60% with the right starter and a level 3 ender. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you all next time.